The BeamNG 0.39 update is here, and it brings a brand new sports car plus the biggest graphics overhaul in the game's history. Here's everything you need to know. We've waited quite a while for this update, over half a year, but the devs have been cooking and they've brought us the Cherrier Ardente, the brand new vehicle in BeamNG 0.39. It's a modern European sports coupe, and doesn't it look stunning? Now in real life, this is most closely related or based on the Peugeot RCZ. That was a sports coupe that Peugeot made between 2009 and 2015. But at the back, I'd say it resembles more closely the Nissan 370Z, especially the rear haunches here. Now it is a stunning looking vehicle, but as I'm driving around today, you may notice the graphics in the game look a bit different. We're on a brand new renderer, there's hundreds of graphical updates, and we'll be talking about that in more detail later. But let's talk about the Cherrier Ardente in more detail first. As you'd expect for a BeamNG vanilla vehicle, the interior is stunning quality. In fact, this is by far the best quality interior we've ever seen in a vanilla vehicle. It uses the new graphics rendering techniques to make the materials and textures just look stunning. Look at the dashboard there, and then the seats, the quilt work, the leather work on the seat here. It's just so high quality. Everywhere you look, there's stunning details, great reflections, and yeah, everything is nicely modeled in here. So it is a Cherrier. That means it does share some elements with the Cherrier FCV, the Vivace, and the Tograk. This is a 2-litre straight 4 engine. There are lots of different engines available for the Ardente. That engine produces 305 horsepower. Quite a lot considering it's only front wheel drive, and amazingly handles well with very little understeer, which is great. We also have active aero at the back there. Unfortunately, when you brake, it doesn't pop up anymore to give you like a brake assist or an air brake, but this car is one of the best handling vehicles in the game, and I cannot believe it's front wheel drive. I'm cutting the corner a little bit there, but look, very little understeer, and the traction control isn't even cutting in that much. So Ardente means hot or fiery in Italian, and this car was produced between 2020 and 2024. That makes it the most modern vehicle available in BeamNG Vanilla. Now BeamNG has also done a little bit of work to the sound engine in the game, and they've kind of added a new filter when you're inside the car, so you can't hear the engine as much, and the road noise is reduced. It kind of sounds more realistic. Depending on the car you're in, that does change. But yeah, the sound and the graphics have had an overhaul in this update. Isn't it great? And look how bright it is out there. As you'd expect for a 300 horsepower sports car, it's really quick. This thing can do 150 miles per hour plus, and it isn't even the most powerful version of the Ardente. But what about a crash test? Well, here we go, about 100 miles per hour. Whoa, okay. Lots of bits have flown off. Look at the side trim there. Let's see if we can zoom in. There you go. The side trim has come off. Wow. Well, as you'd expect, it's pretty amazing for BeamNG quality. In fact, it's one of the best I've seen. And they've also nicely modeled the underside of the car. Yeah, this is a brilliant crash model, and I can't wait to see what kind of crashes we can create with the Ardente. There are 19 configs of the Ardente. There's not a huge variety here, but everything you'd expect is here: police cars, electric cars, race cars, and more. These are some of the base models of the Ardente. On the left, we've got the 2-litre diesel base model, and the 1.6-litre petrol is on the right. The diesel has about 190 horsepower, which isn't too bad, and the petrol has about 225. Then we've got the comfort model, which is also a diesel, designed for comfort, and I'm going to show you some of the interactivity inside. It is worth mentioning there's a lot of customization for the car. In fact, you can even put the 1.2-litre straight-free engine from the FCV into this. Doesn't really suit it being a sports car, but anyway. Now, the great feature about 0.39 is that for the first time, all vanilla vehicles, including the Ardente, have openable sun visors. So all the vehicles now have this feature. We have the usual buttons like the hazard lights, the ignition state, and the ESC and TC mode. You can also see the new UI element that shows when you're hovering over something clickable. On the left here, you can now interact with the headlight switch with your mouse for the first time, and that is in all vehicles in the game. Then over here, we've got a toggle tailgate button. That opens the tailgate of the Ardente, and yes, this thing is a hatchback. Quite a big trunk as well. Now, if we open the pillarless doors of the Ardente, we can see the nice seats here, and then in the back, we have two tiny seats. These reduced sized seats make this a 2+2 coupe, and for the first time, at least I think so, we have ISOFIX points for child baby seats. Now, you can't actually put child baby seats in there, but it's really cool they put the detail of the ISOFIX mounting points. I've not seen that in any other mod or BeamNG vanilla vehicle. Also, take a look at the turn signals. They are sequential turn signals that flow like they do on Audis, and it's exactly the same at the back. And what a uniquely shaped light cluster that is. And then you've got the reversing lights. Oh, into reverse, there you go. Where is it? Oh, only on the right. That's unusual, but there you go. We do have a reversing light, tiny one there. This is the top of the range Ardente, the S410Q Frisson. Now that means it's all-wheel drive and it has a straight 5 engine, similar to the one we see in the really high power FCVs, and it has 410 horsepower. This one has a dual clutch transmission, it's automatic, and let's go. In fact, we're going to put it into arsenic mode. You can see that on the digital dash here, the nicest digital dash I've seen in the game, and arsenic just means it's the most powerful this car can be. Here we go. Well, not the fastest start. In fact, does it have launch control? Here we go. Brake. It does. That's a bit better. Whoa! Yeah, 521 Newton meters of torque as well. Now, this does have all-wheel drive. That's the 410Q. Q does mean all-wheel drive in the Cherrier brand. Now, can we actually get it to drift? I'm going to turn it off. The ESC. Oh, no, it's too grippy. Too grippy to drift. A little bit of handbrake. Oh! It's really grippy. Even with the ESC off, yeah, you'd have to be going really fast to get this thing to drift. Let's go for a quick test on the drift track. Oh, it doesn't maintain its drifts for very long. It's not as chuckable, as all-wheel driftable as the Hirochi Sunburst. The thing is definitely designed to be easy to drive at any skill level. Wow. Yeah, interesting. But with a 0 to 60 time of about 3 seconds and a top speed of 167 miles per hour, this thing is really fast, even for a sports car, let alone such a compact sports car. See how fast we can take it through here. This is incredibly quick. 150 miles per hour. I'm going to brake a bit. Good brakes. We're losing it. Just about held on there. And of course we have the standard Cherrier digital kind of navigation screen up there. And yeah, it's just a really nice place to be in here. I love the seat quality. I love the texture quality. I think the whole interior has taken BeamNG cars to a whole new level. The electric versions of the Ardente are quite interesting because on the left, we've got the Lumiere, and on the right, the Sport Lumiere. Now the Sport Lumiere has a dual motor drivetrain, but the Lumiere has just one motor, and it drives the rear wheels. So in fact, this car is available in rear wheel drive as well. And that means if you turn off the ESC and then go for it, this thing can sort of, come on, do donuts, but it does take quite a lot of speed on the turn to get it to continually do a donut. There you go. Yeah, not perfect, but at least it does have a rear-wheel drive config. Yay! The Sport Lumiere has 515 horsepower. It is insanely powerful, even for an electric car. Wow. Just incredible, but it is very heavy, about half a ton more than the Frisson, so it actually does 0 to 60 in about 4 seconds. It is slower than the petrol variant. However, You wouldn't know it. It's pretty quick. It doesn't handle as well either. I'm guessing it's the extra weight, but you get instant torque. 630 Newton meters of torque is crazy. In fact, whoa, wow. Bit of brake lockage there, even with ABS on, but up the hill, yeah, pulls like a train uphill. Oh, bit of a jump. Here we go. Can we do a bit of a jump over here? Yay! Oh, trunks come open. And we lost the rear bumper somewhere. Well, now we're in Italy, and being a European car, of course, we do have a couple of European police cars. We have the Carabinieri, the Italian police, and on the right, the Gendarmes, the French police. These look really cool. They're kind of high-speed pursuit vehicles for both these countries. So the Italian police, they get the diesel engine with 190 horsepower, but the French police get 305 horsepower with the kind of mid-sporty trim we started the video with. But over here, we have the customized version, the tuned Ardente with really cool Wangan free-spoke wheels. This has 330 horsepower, and it's dual tone. We've got silver and then red. So let's see if we can outrun the French police. So even though we are lightly tuned, we have all-wheel drive, and he... oh, doesn't, and there you go, he's understeering. Okay, how do we get out of the town? I think we go right here. Yes, this is the way to go. Okay, whoa. I need to get back into the cockpit. There you go. Right. Whoa. Okay, so this thing has all-wheel drive, but only 330 horsepower, so it's a little bit heavier than the other cars. Whoa, but very grippy. Come on. Come on. There you go. Yeah, I kind of like the straight 5 engine rather than this tuned straight 4, but wow, look at this map. Look how great this map looks with the new graphics. He's crashed. Okay, the AI is meant to have been improved a little bit, but it's still not the best. Off we go. Wow, look at this map. Yeah, you're going to love some of the graphical improvements in this update. 165. Wow, this thing is quick. Quicker than the sport version. I guess it has the manual gearbox. It's geared differently. Here we go. Whoa, okay. This version of the game is slightly early. There are some issues in this kind of early access version I've got, and you did see the eyes, my eyes adjusting in game there. That's a new feature that hopefully will be rectified by the time you get your hands on the update. Where's the police? I can't even hear them. They're gone. What about the race variants? Well, on the left, we have the track day variant, basically something someone's made to take to the track. And then on the right, we have the full race variant. These have about 340 to 350 horsepower, and they sound great. Really nice sounding exhaust there, and lots of fire and flame coming out of it. I love the slick tires on this thing and the massive rear wing. But we're going to take around the track. Here we go, the street tuned variant. This has the 5-cylinder engine and about 500 horsepower, plus a really cool Feline Racers livery. This is a cool livery, pink and purple, and yeah, really unique livery with the pink on the wheels as well. And then a pretty extreme rear wing. I love the kind of struts keeping it together there, and a massive rear diffuser. We got one at the front as well. Yes, we do, but it's not quite as big. 500 horsepower, and the interior feels quite normal. We've got bucket seats and a bit of nitrous there. Oh, okay, let's turn that on and put it into, oh, let's just turn the ESC off. But yeah, no roll cage. Let's go. Okay, bit of a jumpy start, feels quite quick, but the nitrous hasn't kicked in just yet. No, still hasn't kicked in. Third gear, there we go. Okay, this is a serious piece of machinery. Okay, whoa, not as grippy as I was expecting. I'm assuming, oh, over torque risk. Uh-oh, that's not good. I'm assuming the track day and the race car have a lot more grip than this. Hopefully, whoa. Wow, that understeer. Hopefully, the engine does hold out for a full lap. But, oh, this is the fastest version of the car, so of course I'm going to take it around the track. Go! Wow. Nitrous activates about 5,000 RPM, and oh, that nitrous bottle is huge. We've barely used even 1% of it. Coming down the long straight, in the distance you can see some of the new fog effects, the volumetric fog in BeamNG 0.39. In fact, the whole map seems to be covered in fog all of a sudden. 155 over the crest. 6th gear. That is quick. Wow, and brake. And brake. Come on. Come on. Oh no. Just braked a little bit too late. Oh no. We're stuck. It is time for our first corkscrew corner test in BeamNG 0.39. If this thing can get round it, wow, it's a bit more understeery than I expected. Very much more understeery than I expected, yeah. Let's do that again with a better angle. Brake into second, turn in. Turn in. Wow. Yeah, weird handling car, actually. Doesn't feel as good as the others. So I'm going to try the race car variant. So we're in the race variant now, a lot less power, but it does feel very different. We've got a sequential gearbox, and look at that backfire. Wow, the force feedback feels weird. It's very twitchy, but a lot grippier, which is good. Okay, brake. Down into second. There you go, cut the corner slightly. That was good. Way grippier. Okay. So the Ardente has interesting handling characteristics on the track, but what about the rally cars? The weather in the clouds can change quite quickly in this new update, and yeah, it's gone all dark around here on West Coast USA. Anyway, these are the two rally car configs. On the left, we've got the gravel rally, complete with these really nice gravel-specific tyres, and on the right, we've got the asphalt rally. It's lowered, it's got very interesting wheels with grippy tyres, and this huge rear wing. They've also got these really bright front light bars. Interesting. Okay, we're going to quickly take this around. Whoa, here we go. Whoa, that's a drift. Okay, we found an Ardente. Oh, that is amazing. That is an all-wheel drift of epic proportions. Yeah, this thing would be great for Gymkhana or, well, any asphalt stage on a rally. Sound through the tunnel there. Wow. And it brakes, man. And actually, suspension is softer than I expected. Yeah. This thing, can I do a bit of handbrake? I missed the handbrake. Here we go. Very nice. I like it a lot. And here we go, gravel rally. Let's go to the interior. Look at this roll cage. It's very substantial. Okay, have we got a manual? No, we don't. It is sequential. Okay, off we go onto the gravel track. Let's see. This thing feels like a pocket rocket. Yeah. Very grippy, very chuckable. You can point it anywhere and it just goes. Does it handle bumps well? Let's find out. 100 miles per hour over here. This is quite a big jump. Oh. Well, the suspension is fairly soft. Yeah, it handles all of these bumps pretty well. Virtually no kind of airtime without the wheels extending to the ground and softening that impact. So unless you're jumping really high, the springs have a lot of travel, which is great. Perfect for this kind of track. Yeah, great rally cars, just a great car all around. So that is the Cherrier Ardente. But we've barely scratched the surface of this update. There is so much more to show you. We're now on the automation test track, and we're going to have a look at some of the new configs for other vehicles. First off, we've got the Autobello Stambecco Custom. This is a road-going version of the Stambecco. There's a few new parts on here, and we've also got road-going tyres, a really nice-looking livery, which is like blue and a lighter shade of blue, and then inside, here we go, we've just got bench seats and these two seats here. So basically, it's another config for the Stambecco that's designed to go on-road and not really off-road. Some of the new things I've spotted are these windows down the sides. We've got a full, length of the vehicle that's covered in windows. And basically, it drives exactly how you'd expect a road-going Stambecco to drive. Yeah, it's nice. Feels very smooth. There's a new drift config for the Bruckle Moonhawk. This thing has a 5-litre V8 engine, but it's naturally aspirated and produces 400 horsepower. Not bad considering it's naturally aspirated. But moment of truth, how does it drift? Well, a lot of wheel spin from a standing start. Oh, it's got a better steering angle. Good drift tyres on the back there too. Oh, you can pull some crazy angles with this thing. Yeah, look at the steering angle there. That is insane. And to be honest, it's about as good as any of the muscle car drift configs we've already got, if not just a little bit better. And I do like the green and black paint job. I wonder if that's a reference to something. I'm not sure. The Bruckle Legrand has a new config. It is the Asphalt Rally. They have separated the gravel rally from the asphalt rally, so it's basically the same car, but with different tyres and suspension. So the new config is on the right. They both have 220 horsepower and all-wheel drive, but you can see this thing is slightly lower. We've got smaller wheels with grippier asphalt tyres, and then on this one we've got the big shocks that raise it up and the off-road tyres. So what is the asphalt rally config like? Well, let's find out. Now, this isn't the fastest rally car in the world, but it's incredibly grippy. Look at that. How fast can we push this thing without needing to brake? That's 50. Here we go. Come on. Woohoo! Yeah. Did have to lift off there, but that is incredibly grippy. Try it again. Third gear. Oh, lifted off at the back there. That shows you how grippy the front end is on this thing. There's a new config of the WL40, the wheel loader added in the last update. This thing is called the Show Loader, and basically it's a crowd pleaser for automotive events, almost like a monster truck. Look at these dually wheels on this thing, and I think the best thing we can do is we're going to try and run over and squash a Gavril Roma. So then, put it into drive, and off we go. It's pretty loud, but I reckon with ease, we can destroy the Roma. Oh, it's stuck under our wheels, but there you go, well and truly crushed. So yeah, it's literally just a monster truck. Another interesting thing is that you can swap out the engine on the WL40 for the engine from the dump truck. So normally it comes with the 18-litre V8, but you can swap it for the 20.4-litre straight 6. And it works just about as well. It's a bit more torquey, this engine, and it can do 20 miles per hour. Not bad for a vehicle that weighs 43 tons. There's a new diesel dragster of the Gavril D series, and it has over 1100 horsepower plus nitrous. We've also got a really cool rear wing here that's kind of an extension of the bed. Really cool how it's flush with the body. Okay, let's take it on the drag strip here on Grid Map V2. Okay, the game has selected a Bruckle 9 as our opponent, and there's a new graphic here on the ground which shows us how far we are away from the start line. Also up here it shows you in feet. Okay, we're going to go up to the start line and we're staging. There we go. Staging and go! Oh, did I jump the start? No, I don't think I did. That was perfect. This thing is quick. 120, still going. Sounds great too. Diesel dragster for the win. There you go. Stop the vehicle. Oh, the brakes could be better. And we've come to a stop. Well, we placed first, 9.75. That is pretty good. Now, what was my reaction time? 0.143, not bad. So what else has changed about the vehicles in BeamNG? Well, if you look really closely at the paint of most vehicles, you can see this orange peel effect. You have to be really, really close. In fact, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. You can see how the surface of the paint is slightly, I know it's got an imperfection to it. It's like mottled and bumpy. That is a real effect that you will see on most modern car paint jobs. That is something you see on real cars, and it makes the paint in the game look just that bit more realistic. Go and have a look at a real car close up and see if you can see it on your car. The lights on all of the vehicles have been made to look a little bit more realistic. They're not quite as harsh and bright as they used to be. This especially becomes apparent at night, and look, we literally can't see the car on this map, but here we go. Look at that. Doesn't that just look like you're looking at a real car? I mean, it is incredible. They are beyond realistic now. And as I mentioned earlier, the sun visors are on all the different vehicles. In fact, the models and textures of the sun visors have been adapted on some of the older cars to make them look a bit better. So these are on all vanilla vehicles. The ETK 800 now has license plate lighting, and doesn't it light it up well? This is also on the Ibishu BX and the Ibishu Covet. The sunset and the nighttime looks great in this game, but we can really appreciate the EU light bar, which has been updated with more customization. And in here you can change the different colors of the flashes. You can also change the concealed flashes at the front for blue and red, or just blue. And there's also a customization too, including what it says on the sign. You can change the different languages, so French, German, Italian, or English. And as I showed you before, the headlight controls on all the vehicles are now clickable on the interior. The shifter animation for the more complex automatic gearboxes has been improved, so we can go into semi-automatic automatic mode down there. It looks a lot smoother, and it doesn't clip through the gate anymore on the gearbox. So it looks like a nicer animation, and that is for all the ETKs, the Vivace, and the SBR. And would you believe it, the Hydra has even been updated in this update, because all of the controls on the dashboard are now animated. So for example, the hand throttle on the right here is now animated. That twists. We've also got the brake control right here. Then we've got the shifter down there. And where is the range selector? It's not on this one. We're going to spawn a different config. Ah, yes, there it is. We're in the Mudmaster now. There's the range box. And over here, we can turn on the fog lights and the low beams from buttons on the dashboard. Isn't that cool? Does this change your opinion of the FPU Hydra? It's a little bit better now, right? I know people don't like this, but that is such a cool little feature to have. More interactivity and animation on the interior. The Gavril Wentworth school bus with the JATO rockets now shows off a new feature of the JATO rockets. We can change the angle of the nozzles. So I'm just going to put into some crazy angle like that, and let's see what happens. Yeah, that is that's crazy. They're actually clipping through the body. That's how much you can adjust them. But let's see what happens when I set off. Not much. I reckon if I could get them to point downwards, we could get this thing to take off. Okay, they're pointing downwards, and off we go. Oh, not quite. We're sort of levitating. Oh, and it's spinning out. Oh, that is cool, though. I love to see that tuning. Also in the tuning menu, you can now change the headlight pitch compensation. So if the vehicle is way down at the front or the back, you can change where the headlights aim, upwards or downwards, like you can in a real car. Every car in the game now has the new tow hitch. This was added in the last update with the Hopper and the Sunburst, and now it's on every car in the game. On the ETK 800, for example, you can really see how substantial it is. A massive metal frame, and then there's been a hole cut in the bumper, so it looks more realistic coming out of the bumper, just like you'd have in real life. There's been some subtle improvements in the vehicle menu. For example, do you see this? The Gavril Wentworth bus. That has been separated from the Gavril MD series, so now it has its own config list in the vehicle menu. Similarly, the Cherrier Ardente and the Vivace have been split up. No longer are they called the FCV, they're now split up into the SUV and hatchback form of those cars. We also have the Gavril T series and the TC series. That is the flat nose truck and then the long bonneted truck. They've been split up. And if you click into the vehicles, such as the Bruckle 9, you can see the body styles now separate the configs in the list. So we've got sedan, roadster, pickup, panel van, and coupe. This is a much better way of doing it, in my opinion. If you go to the ETK 800 series, you can see the sedan is separated from the wagon, and that is across the full vehicle selection menu. On the trailers, you can now swap out the LED tail lights for halogen tail lights. So if you want to be a bit more retro, you can have halogen. The shipping container now has deformation. Let's have a look as it goes down. Oh yes, the shipping container definitely does have deformation. And a few new configs have been added to the shipping container, including stacks of containers. This saves you a lot of time, and in the parts menu, you can change what all the containers are. In fact, can you have 4 containers on top of each other? You can! Wow, and then you can change the container paint design to random. There you go. It's randomized all of them to different things. Really cool. The bollard prop has been updated. Now you can spawn multiple from the config list, and also you can spawn them when they're open. You don't have to spawn them closed anymore. So we can have pentuple open, and there you go. They're already extended, and you can do that straight from the config list. The cinder block wall has had an update. There are loads of new configs, including ones with graffiti on and different shapes and different types of walls. We've got corner with rebar, mortar with rebar, and even a reinforced wall. So this is the one with the graffiti. Very nice artwork by the BeamNG developers there. We've got one with a window. We got one with a door. This is the reinforced wall, and this is the wall with corner. Let's try and crash into the reinforced wall, see if it really does stop a vehicle. Here we go, the off-road school bus into the reinforced wall. Well, it didn't stop it really, but it... Oh, here you go. You can see the reinforcement there. Also, the wall now has better collision with itself, so it looks a lot better. The bricks don't kind of morph into each other when you hit them, and they're just flying around a lot more realistically. The steel coil has been renamed metal coil. That's because we've got brand new metals. It's not just steel anymore. We have aluminium, actually spelt correctly, which is nice, bronze coil, we've got tin plate coil, brass coil, and copper coil. They all have different weights, and they kind of behave differently depending on the density of the metal. So you can see one of them here, the copper coil, very, very reflective. I love the look of this thing. There's the bus in the reflection. Oh, doesn't that look nice? Ram into the 5-ton aluminium coil, which is slightly deformed because aluminium is not that strong. And just one more thing, I want to pull over the graffiti wall. Oh, that's cool. There are new types of tire stack. Some of them are attached to each other, but most of them are loose. So that means when you crash into them, they'll fly apart. In the Ardente, imagine we're on the racetrack and we hit the tire wall and it smashes apart. That is great. But now let's have a more in-depth look at what's been changed with the game's graphics. The graphics in BeamNG have been totally overhauled, especially with the new lighting system. So the lighting and shadows have been upgraded, and to achieve that, BeamNG is using Direct 3D 12. That is a brand new renderer. However, Vulkan mode also supports all of these new graphics features. There's simply too much to go over in this video. However, here are some of the highlights. The game now has physically based lighting. Now that's not ray tracing, but it does make the lighting look so much more realistic, and also the reflections and shadows look much more realistic. Here are the new shadows. They're much softer, less kind of visual glitches and crispiness going on around the edges. There's a new tone mapper from Gran Turismo 7, and that means there's more accurate colors. So the colors are less vibrant, but they are now more photorealistic and neutral. Really does kind of improve the look of BeamNG, making it look a little bit less cartoony and more realistic. This is the new environment menu, and we can click this to regenerate the clouds and increase the cloud cover. These are volumetric clouds for the first time in vanilla BeamNG. So they are actually physically present and very fluffy. You can fly through them. Imagine flying through these in a plane. It's going to be so cool. Also, the game now has volumetric fog. It looks so much better than before, and you can really adjust it. But look in the distance there. Here you go. Wow. That looks so much better than the fog before in BeamNG. This is really cool. If you set the game to nighttime and then look up into the sky, these stars are based on their real astronomical data. So the stars you would see in real life are the ones in the sky in game. And then you can visualize them. So you can turn on meteors and then constellation lines, horizon lines, equator lines, moon path lines, and there you go. These are all the constellations in the sky. And look at the meteors flying around. That is so cool. Now, all of this does come at a slight cost. You will get slightly lower frame rate in this version of BeamNG. However, BeamNG has never been more stable. And even Vulkan mode, which used to be really glitchy, that has been updated and improved massively. It's much more stable. You won't get many of the flashes or glitches or crashes you used to get in that mode. However, I'm only getting about 5 or 10 FPS less in D3D12 than I am in Vulkan, and both of them are running pretty well. Even with traffic, I'm getting about 60 frames per second, 1440p Ultra on this map. That's with traffic, and I have a 4070 GPU. All my specs are in the description. And to help you tune the graphics of your game, there is a brand new graphics settings menu. It actually has a little HUD overlay here showing your frame rate. This is basically for benchmarking in real time. Then in the graphics settings menu, you can see lots of new settings in here. I've had the game set to Ultra. I barely changed anything from that. And yeah, they've added tooltips, new tooltips to all of these, so you can see exactly what performance hit all of the different settings have. You can now change the terrain quality. You can bump up the quality of the new shadows even more by increasing the shadow resolution to Ultra, extending the shadows, or creating dedicated vehicle shadows. So that means you can see better quality shadows at further distance away from you. These are very performance heavy though. And if you think the new graphics graphics are slightly too bright or slightly too dark, you can change the EV compensation here, that is the exposure compensation, right from the graphics menu. All of this makes the game look stunning, and I do think the game now looks a bit more like the older versions of BeamNG. What do you think? It kind of looks like, 2013 to 2020 versions of BeamNG now, but in a good way. The game has gone back to trying to be more photorealistic. And also, when you start the game, you'll now see the different renderer options. You can use the old D3D11 if you wish, but it's obsolete. It won't have all the graphics features of the latest update. But then there's Vulkan and D3D12. D3D12 is the recommended and best renderer really in BeamNG now. However, Vulkan and D3D12 are pretty similar in terms of their graphics capabilities. So what about map updates in this update? Well, there's no new content for any of the maps in 0.39. However, all of the maps now look amazing thanks to the new graphics rendering. And I did notice this on West Coast USA. This used to be a liquor store near where the default start location is. It's now a mini mart. You can speculate in the comments why they changed this, but this is the only real difference I've seen on West Coast USA. Okay, there is one more difference with West Coast USA. So we're back here and we're going to go to the environment tab and we're going to click nighttime. Oh yes, we have nighttime lighting on West Coast USA, and doesn't it look brilliant? It almost looks like satellite imagery. I love the look of it. And of course, we've got Rainbow Bridge. The bridge on this map has been turned into Rainbow Bridge, like the one in Tokyo Bay. Oh my goodness, with different colors on this, it reflects really nicely. You can see the lights in the windows at about 9 o'clock, and then they go off as if people are going to sleep, which is an interesting way of doing it, isn't it? Anyway, I love the street lighting here. It just looks so realistic, really warm, really cozy, and I do think a lot better than some of the modded West Coast USA with nighttime lighting maps we've seen in the past. The racetrack is also lit up, and it's been lit in a really nice way. Not the whole map is lit. It's kind of only on the corners. Yeah, I love it. Really, really nice. And look at it from above. Do you see what I mean about it looking like satellite imagery? What's this bright light over here? Oh, it's that, the fire. Wow. We're now on Cliff Map, not a map I look at very often because this is a great example of the new grass and vegetation. It's all been updated and the grass and vegetation now look really cool, how it blows in the wind. And also, Cliff, for the first time, has its own trees. Proper vegetation on Cliff Map. So yes, all of the vegetation in the game on all maps has been updated. Looks much nicer now. The in-game physics have also been improved, especially for racing, because now slipstreaming is a thing. So when you're behind a vehicle, you are now within its slipstream and you will be more aerodynamically efficient. Also, there is something called bump drafting, where if you hit the back of the car in front, both of you will go faster forward. I don't really know how that works, but basically you're giving them momentum, I think, and you're within their slipstreams. It's like a double kind of efficiency boost. Also, there's side drafting. So when you're in the car's rear quarter, roughly here, this guy is not playing ball with my test here. There you go, we're in the rear quarter kind of area here, kind of adjacent and behind the vehicle. What happens is that you get side drafting. What this lets you do is slow the other car down by interrupting their airflow and pushes you ahead because you're within that car's airflow. It's very complex, very complicated. I'm not a scientist or a physicist or anything like that, but it's great to see these physics improvements being added to the game. From the main menu, there is now a new quick start experience. It's called the Free Roam Tutorial. Basically, it's an introduction to the game, and it will just be a little bit of a tutorial to help you get into the game if you really are completely brand new. There is vehicle recovery. That's a good one to learn for new players. And then over here, what have we got? we've got camera controls. There you go. You can see what this is all about. From the menu, you can also look at highlights of the different updates, including version 0.39. These are all the new missions that have been added to 0.39. It includes the new freeform delivery mode. These are delivery missions with multiple objectives, and you can leave the vehicle and get in other vehicles. Those missions are Wreck Fetcher, Block Handler, and Cargo Shifter. And 12 old delivery missions have been converted to this new mission type. So let's see what they're like. So in Wreck Fetcher, we have to collect 3 different wrecks of vehicles. It tells you a little bit about the freeform delivery missions here. There is the wreck we've got to pick up, and the game has given us a wheel loader to put it on the truck with. Onto the wheel loader. Now they are wrecks just in a field. Oh no. Yeah, this mission seems like it could be quite tough. Well, I think you get the idea of this. But I'm rather useless. Oh, it's like locked on. No. Anyway, you get the idea. Really cool idea. I'd love to see modded missions with this new mode, because it basically frees up the opportunities for new missions that have kind of dynamic scenarios. There are 2 new missions for the Ardente experience at the ETK Experience Center, and there's also Roadmaster. These missions are a great way to experience the Ardente. They're basically just time trials, but still really fun. There's a new race called Guttered. This is like an underground racetrack, and I'm not even sure what map we're on, but it does look cool, and we're in a Covet. Interesting. Have we got lights? We haven't got lights. Wow. Oh, we're underneath the Derby arenas. Okay, it says on the map there, look, Derby arenas. That is an unusual race. And in the other AI races in BeamNG, such as this one on the automation test track called BeamNG Sports Race, the game now uses the performance class of your vehicle to determine what other AI competitors you'll be against. That means opponent vehicles will be fairly matched against your car. So I've got the sport version of the Ardente here, and yet I would say these vehicles are pretty fairly matched. Yeah, just makes the races that bit fairer. Okay, we're now in career mode, and there is one new feature to check out, and we have to go to the road to see it. Aha, what's that there? There is a taxi available, so you press Shift and E to get it to pull over for you, and then you press F. Look, it says waiting for you above it. Get in. Now I am in a taxi, and I have to select my destination. So I want to go into the city. Oh, actually, no, maybe not that far. Let's go down to the drag raceway. Then you click confirm destination, and a bit like GTA, we're in and we're ready to go. And I can even tell it to hurry up. 1 times, 2 times, 3 times. Now he's gonna go crazy to get me there as fast as possible. At the top, it says how much of a distance we've got left. We've got 0.8 miles left, and also the fare, which is ticking up. Now, apparently, you can also hire a cab in free roam, but I've not actually seen a taxi spawn in the traffic. So maybe you can do it, I'm not sure. Now, if you do get bored, you can skip to the destination. You can climb out of the taxi now. $2.75. That is cheap. Let me out. Stop. Let me stop. Okay, I've been kidnapped. No, there you go. We're out. $2.75 down. Brilliant. There's also some new features in the rally mode. There's a brand new rally loop called NGRC Rally Utah 2026. First of all, there's 3 new rally co-driver voice packs, including Alex Kihurani. They are an American rally co-driver, a real co-driver, and they have helped the BeamNG team to create realistic pace notes. So this one is called the Pro co-driver, but there's lots of different other versions, high def, dirt wheel, and the other one is called, it's just Alex Kihurani. Well, we're gonna go for the Pro one, and we're in a Hirochi Sunburst. Let's see what it sounds like. Now, this is the mode where you have to drive to the rally stages. So we're going to go out of here. We're on Utah, right. Now, what they've also added is traffic. You can see traffic on the road, just like it would be in real life. Go to the start line, start in 40 seconds. My goodness.
5.
Oh my God.
4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Right.
To left, tightens over crest.
That's
Slow,
loud.
2 right, sudden
That's
tight
very
hairpin
loud.
Left. Caution 40. 3 right into water.
I think that's pretty good. Oh no. Although,
Into.
I'm a terrible driver.
Plus narrow.
Yeah, sorry.
Maybe.
Sorry. Okay, so brand new voice paste notes, and they're great. And yeah, what the guy has done, this Alex Kahirani guy, he has made the paste notes much more realistic in BeamNG, which is great to see. When you complete a rally stage or a rally loop, there is a new leaderboard at the end of the stage, and that means you can see virtual offline competitors. So these have been simulated, you can't see them actually in the game world, but there's 18 competitors on here. I actually somehow managed to win, and they've all got different names, different times, even a couple of them DNF'd, which is really interesting. Makes it a bit more competitive, a bit more interesting, but would be nice to see them in the game. That's not a feature that's here yet, but still a good addition. The menus and user interface has once again been upgraded, and listen to this. Yeah, BeamNG now has a theme tune. It plays as soon as you load up the game in the main menu, and I think it's been composed by Gabester, someone that works on the BeamNG team and does the vehicle designs, but also has done all the music for all the trailers and all that famous BeamNG music over the years. Sounds really nice. Is it the official BeamNG theme tune? I'm not sure. Anyway, we also have new menu sounds, which sound a little bit crisper and cleaner than before. In the free roam menu, all of the maps now have new images. These have been taken in the new graphics renderer, so they do look a lot nicer, a lot crisper. You can see the great graphics in this version of the game. And the same thing has happened for the vehicle spawn menu. All of these images have been redone to look better and more modern with the new graphics. When you're in game, you've also seen the new overlay for triggers, such as this one on the left door. And then we've got a brand new pause menu. So press escape and the brand new pause menu top left appears. We've got system, free roam, vehicle, and environment. In the environment, you can change the time of day, the weather, spawn traffic, do the simulation options, things like that. In vehicle, well, you can do repair vehicle, recover to the road, the vehicle config can be changed in here. If you spawn another vehicle, you can select it in the vehicle tab or click between different vehicles. Really, really cool. You can select vehicles from this tab. And then in free roam, if I click on the Bruckle Bastion, we can now set it to do its different AI modes right from this menu. So we can say random, then we swap back to the other car, unpause, and off it goes. That is a brand new way to control AI vehicles. Also from the menu, in free roam, it shows you nearby activities. So we've got the dealership, supercar shipment, asphalt stage. Really good way of seeing what's nearby. You've already seen part of the new options menu. The whole of the options menu under every tab has been updated and improved. It's way easier to browse through here. And we've got a search option, so I can put in ambient occlusion and it will just come up. If you press Shift+C, there is a brand new free camera. So you're already used to this free camera, but then press C again, it becomes a cinematic camera. So what happens if I move? Okay, I don't know what that cinematic camera is. It's like a smooth cam. Press C again. Oh, we're falling. This is the steady camera, almost like an action cam or like, you know, a hand-mounted kind of action camera thing. And it actually feels like I'm running, like your head is bobbing, going up and down. You can go around the car like this. Can you crouch? Don't think you can, but you can kind of see this would be useful for really cinematic shots. Press C again, and we're now in the drone chase camera mode. Wow, look at this. So we are like, it's like we're in a drone following the car, and the faster you go, the further the drone gets away from the car. Really interesting. Press C again, you're in the free camera, and then Shift and C to exit it, and then we're back in the normal camera mode. The replay UI has been improved, so you can press F2 to start a replay. We're going to do a really basic replay here, and then do a handbrake turn. And there you go, stop the replay. Now the replay has been saved. So press escape and it takes you straight to the replay. Play, here we go. Yep, we're just looking at the replay. You can make it faster or slower. You can eject, I'm not sure what that does. Oh, it unloads it. Okay. And you can look at all your replays on here. And look at all my old replays are in here. That's crazy. Press escape, go to system, and then click HUD apps. We've got a new HUD layout customization screen. So from here, you can change the size of all the different apps, move them around. Let's move this one over here. You can see like that. And then if you press back, and then you can add apps in here. You've seen all this before. Back again. And now to save it, you need to click back. and there you go, save. If you press escape, it will just exit you out of there and it won't save. But I do think overall that is better. And finally, there's the new photo mode. Okay, let's have a look at all this. So if you click show settings, it shows you all the different options you've got in the camera. You can do the standard things like roll the camera, and then you can also change the time of day straight from here and all of the cloud conditions, the fog. So let's take the cloud off a little bit like that. Wow, look at that. Beautiful blue sky. In here, you've got all the different graphics options. You can turn depth of field on or off, reflections on or off. We even got camera flash looks. If I click take photo, there you go. That will actually add a bit of camera flash. It's not really in focus, but if I go to nighttime in the camera mode, so look, camera flash is off, turn it on, take the photo. Wow, that does look like a camera flash. That's cool. Once you've taken your picture, you can actually upload it to the BeamNG media server or Steam directly from this menu. You've also got some photo overlays. This splat adds like a BeamNG graphic over the top, and then a cinematic one which has no texture. It's just black lines at the bottom and top. But I want to use this, a capture with motion. It takes a few frames from before you take the screenshot and then compiles them together to make the car look as if it's moving like fluid in the photo. Now, this is a technique I use in my thumbnails, and many other YouTubers do too, but you can do it right from inside BeamNG. So, show settings, let's go and have a look. Is it on? Hang on, it's in this one. Capture with motion, follow vehicle with rotation. Let's do it. Here you go. Whoa. Oh, it's done it. I mean, it's not perfect. There's a little bit of motion. You can see the blurry background, but the car is still in focus. That makes it look like the image has motion. Really cool effect. You can do it right from the game. Well, we're just about getting to the end of all the new features in BeamNG 0.39, but from the interior, listen to the horn. It definitely sounds more muffled, and as I drive on this dirt path, listen underneath the car. You can hear the kind of rocks hitting the underside of the car. That's the new audio filter I talked about earlier. It does sound a lot better. And then, if I go in for a crash, it sounds so different. Way more immersive, more muffled, like it would be, because, you know, a car, it's very muffled inside a car. You can't really hear much of the outside world. I like the new sounds, and it sounds much more realistic. Also, the traffic has once again been improved, and they do seem to flow a bit more naturally now, and they don't make as many silly choices or crash as often. The AI, you know, when you get them to race or chase you, it can be a little bit broken still, but the AI traffic is pretty good now, and apparently there's Easter eggs just occasionally on the license plates. I've not seen one yet. Maybe in a few weeks' time someone will spot them for the first time on Reddit, but keep a lookout and let us know if you do find it. But there you go. That is BeamNG 0.39. As well as all that, we've got the usual bug fixes and force feedback improvements. The force feedback, again, feels just that little bit better. We're getting there. Eventually, I will be able to do a proper tutorial for Moser wheels, but the BeamNG developers said they're nowhere near done on a force feedback yet, so expect good things in the future. What's your favorite part of the update? Let me know down in the comments below. Is it the Cherrier Ardente? Is it the new graphics? Or is it something else entirely? And if you'd like to catch up on what was added in the last BeamNG update 0.38, click the video on screen right now.